Over the next 2 decades, we're going to see the largest transfer of wealth in modern history. But this won't be a crisis for everyone. For a small group of informed investors, it's the single greatest opportunity of their lifetime. Right now, two massive forces are converging, and most people only see one of them. The first is the unraveling of a 40-year-old financial system that created trillions in wealth. The second is the birth of a new, decentralized system that's already rewriting the rules of money. Most investors are trapped, looking in the rearview mirror at a world that no longer exists. They're playing by an old rulebook, hoping the strategies that worked for their parents will somehow save them. They are wrong, and their mistake will be the foundation of a historic transfer of wealth. In this video, I'm going to reveal this hidden second force. I'm Tim George. With over 4 decades in global investment banking, advising on huge transactions at firms like RBC Capital Markets, Lazard, and Goldman Sachs, I've had a front row seat to how the financial system really works. I've seen these kinds of major shifts unfold before, and today I'll explain exactly how you can position yourself on the right side of history. This isn't about fear, it's about getting the new map before everyone else realizes the old one is useless. To understand where we're going, you first have to understand the world we're leaving behind. For 40 years, from about 1981 until very recently, building wealth had a simple, almost foolproof formula. It was all built on one single powerful trend: falling interest rates. Let's rewind to the early 1980s. Inflation was out of control, hitting nearly 15%. To kill it, then Fed Chair Paul Volcker did something that sounds insane today. He cranked up interest rates to staggeringly high levels. The 10-year Treasury yield, a benchmark for borrowing costs, peaked at over 15%. Now imagine you were a retiree back then. You could put just $300,000 into safe government bonds and generate around $45,000 a year in income. You were set. But what happened next is the key. For the next 4 decades, that 15% yield began a long, steady march downward. Every time the economy stumbled, every time there was a crisis, central banks just cut rates. This created the greatest bond bull market in history. When interest rates fall, the price of existing, higher yielding bonds goes up. It was a guaranteed win. And this wasn't some niche trend. It was the bedrock of the entire global financial system. Pension funds, retirement accounts, insurance companies, the classic 60-40 portfolio, they were all built on the assumption that bonds were safe and delivered reliable returns. This 40-year cycle fueled stock market booms as cheaper borrowing costs helped companies grow and buy back shares. It made housing more affordable, driving real estate prices to the moon. It was the wealth creation engine for an entire generation. But then the engine sputtered and died. Around 2020, this 4-decade party came to a screeching halt. While yields in some parts of Europe and Japan went negative, US Treasury yields hit historic lows, but they never hit zero. The 10-year Treasury bottomed out at around 0.5% in 2020. Think about what that means. That same income that required a $300,000 investment in 1981 would now require a vastly larger sum in safe government debt. The game was over. The 40-year tailwind had not just disappeared, it had turned into a ferocious headwind. Then came the pin that popped the everything bubble. Inflation returned, and not just a little, but the kind we hadn't seen in a generation. Suddenly, everyone holding those low-yielding bonds faced a terrifying new reality. If your bond pays you 1% or 2% and inflation is running at 3%, 5%, or even higher, you are losing money every single day. Your safe investment is a guaranteed loser. The purchasing power of your wealth is being actively destroyed. Today, there is an estimated $145 trillion locked in the global fixed income markets. Governments are stuck. They are buried under mountains of debt, a debt load that has grown faster than the economy for years. They can't afford to raise interest rates to levels that would offer investors a real after-inflation return, because doing so would make their own debt payments unsustainable and likely trigger a severe recession. So, what do? They have only one politically viable option: keep interest rates below the true rate of inflation. This is a deliberate policy of financial repression. It's a slow, methodical liquidation of bondholders and savers. It is the only way for the system to deleverage without a formal outright default. The 40-year wealth play is over. The entire formula that built retirements and fortunes for a generation is finished. This is the first paradigm shift, and it is massive. But it's only half the story. It's the crisis everyone is starting to see. What they don't see is the second, even more powerful force that's converging with it. As the old centralized financial world groans under the weight of its own debt, a new one has been quietly built in its shadow. This is the second paradigm shift, the rise of a decentralized digital financial system. And at its heart is Bitcoin. For years, mainstream finance and the media dismissed Bitcoin. They called it a fad, a fraud, rat poison squared. But while they were laughing, something incredible was happening. A global, open source, decentralized network for money was growing, securing itself, and proving its resilience year after year. What makes Bitcoin so revolutionary is its core feature: absolute, verifiable scarcity. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. No central bank can print more, no government can devalue it. In a world where the denominator of our wealth, the dollar, the euro, the yen, is being systematically debased, Bitcoin represents a shift to a new denominator. It's a lifeboat in a sea of currency devaluation. For a long time, the big institutions that mocked it stayed away. But that has completely changed. The smart money isn't laughing anymore. They're buying. In 2025, we've seen an explosion of institutional adoption. Financial giants like BlackRock, Fidelity, and T. Rowe Price are not just dipping their toes in, they are diving in, launching Bitcoin ETFs and other crypto products. US ETFs for Bitcoin and Ethereum now hold tens of billions in combined assets. This isn't just speculation. It's a fundamental recognition that the game has changed. These institutions manage trillions. They see the bond market trap. They understand the math of currency debasement, and they are desperate for a way out. They are looking for a store of value that exists outside the control of the very governments that created the problem. This institutional rush is creating a massive supply and demand imbalance. Following the 2024 halving, the rate of new Bitcoin creation was cut in half. Over the next 6 years, only about 700,000 new Bitcoin will be created through mining. At current prices, that represents tens of billions of dollars of new supply, yet potential institutional demand is estimated to be in the trillions. This isn't a wild guess, it's a mathematical reality driven by new regulatory clarity and a desperate search for a safe haven. And this isn't just about Bitcoin. The technology behind it, blockchain, is enabling a much broader revolution. We're seeing the tokenization of real world assets, from real estate to private credit. This makes previously illiquid assets divisible, transferable, and accessible to a global pool of investors. The total value of tokenized real world assets has already surpassed $24 billion and is growing rapidly. So, here's the convergence. On one hand, you have a legacy financial system built on debt, managed by central planners who are forced to devalue their currency to survive. On the other, you have a new decentralized system built on mathematical scarcity and open source code, which is now being adopted by the biggest financial players in the world. One system is eroding, the other is being born. And the collision of these two worlds is creating the single largest reallocation of capital in modern history. Understanding these two shifts is one thing. Internalizing what they mean for your money, your retirement, and your family's future is something else entirely. The hard reality is that most people will get this wrong. They will lose, not because they're unintelligent, but because of human psychology. Paradigm shifts are notoriously difficult to accept. They challenge our deepest beliefs and force us to admit that the rule book we've used our whole lives is now obsolete. It's uncomfortable. It's much easier to cling to the familiar, to what worked in the past, and just wait for everyone else to agree before making a move. We saw this in 2008. The signs of the housing collapse were there for anyone willing to look. But the consensus belief was housing prices only go up. Those who questioned it were seen as alarmists. The consensus only arrived after the crash, and by then, it was too late. We are at a similar but much larger inflection point today. The consensus view is still stuck in the old world. People are still asking, when will the Fed cut rates back to zero? They are still hoping the 60-40 portfolio will magically start working again. They are measuring their wealth in dollars, not realizing the measuring stick itself is broken. This creates a huge threat for the unprepared. If your wealth is concentrated in assets that are vulnerable to inflation, like long duration bonds or cash in a savings account, you are on the wrong side of this wealth transfer. Your portfolio is a melting ice cube. The purchasing power of your life savings is being systematically eroded. A rising national debt not only risks fueling inflation, but can also lead to slower economic growth and put pressure on wages and the job market in the coming years. But for those who see the shift coming, this isn't a threat. It is the opportunity of a lifetime. Wealth is never destroyed, it's only transferred. And in times of great change, it transfers from those who are unprepared to those who are prepared. It moves from those clinging to the old paradigm to those who embrace the new one. Think of it like a game of Monopoly where the rules are about to change. For the whole game, owning the utilities has been a pretty mediocre strategy, but a new rule is about to be announced that will make the utilities the most powerful properties on the board. If you know about this rule change in advance, what do you do? You start quietly buying up the utilities while everyone else is still fighting over Boardwalk and Park Place. By the time the rule change is official and everyone else understands the new game, you've already won. That is the situation we are in today. The rules of finance are changing. The assets that were once considered safe are now risky, and the assets that were once considered risky are now becoming the foundation of a new system. Positioning yourself correctly doesn't require a PhD in economics. It requires two things. First, the courage to accept that the world has changed, and second, a clear framework for how to act. And that's what we're going to cover next. I know this is a lot to take in. We're talking about fundamental changes to the way money works. If you want to go deeper and get a more detailed look at the specific strategies I'm using to navigate this, I'm hosting a live free quantum wave investment workshop next week. In that workshop, I'll walk you through the charts I'm watching, the sectors I believe are best positioned to thrive, and the exact framework I use to find opportunities in this new paradigm. It's completely free, but space is limited, so I can answer questions. Click the link in the description to reserve your spot. The time to prepare is now, not after the shift is obvious to everyone. So how do you navigate this? How do you move from the eroding old system to the emerging new one? It starts with changing your entire mindset about investing. The old framework was about chasing yield in a low inflation world. The new framework is about preserving purchasing power in an inflationary world. This requires a completely different set of rules focused on three core principles: scarcity, cash flow, and asymmetric bets. Let's break them down. Principle one: embrace absolute scarcity. In a world where governments are committed to devaluing their currencies, the single most valuable attribute an asset can have is scarcity, not relative scarcity, but absolute verifiable scarcity. This is your number one defense against inflation. The most obvious and important asset here is Bitcoin. Its supply is algorithmically fixed at 21 million units, making it the hardest form of money ever created. While its price is volatile day to day, its long-term purpose is to be a store of value that cannot be debased. Owning a piece of the Bitcoin network is like owning a piece of a new global financial system that operates outside the control of any single government. Even with its growth, estimates suggest that only around 4% of the world's population owns Bitcoin, showing there is still significant room for growth as adoption continues. The second key asset in this category is gold. For thousands of years, gold has been money for this very reason. Its new supply only grows by about 1 to 2% per year, which is difficult for miners to increase. It can't be printed into existence. While it doesn't have the same technological upside as Bitcoin, it has a multi-millennia track record as a store of value and is a universally recognized safe haven asset. Your allocation to these scarce assets is your foundation. It's your protection against the guaranteed devaluation of fiat currencies. The exact percentage depends on your personal risk tolerance, but for the first time in generations, having zero allocation to these assets is the riskiest position of all. Principle 2: focus on inflation-resistant cash flow. The second principle is to own businesses that have pricing power and can generate strong, reliable cash flow in an inflationary environment. In the old world, investors chased growth at any cost. That era is over. In the new world, cash flow is king. So what kinds of businesses fit this description? First, look for companies that provide essential goods and services. Think energy, agriculture, and key consumer staples. People need to eat and heat their homes regardless of the economy. These companies can often pass rising costs to consumers, protecting their profit margins. Second, identify businesses with strong brand loyalty, a moat around their operations. These are companies that customers stick with even if prices go up. Third, consider the pick and shovel plays of the new decentralized economy. These are companies involved in building out the infrastructure, like Bitcoin mining, custody solutions, or the technology for the new financial system. Many of these businesses are profitable, generate cash flow, and are supported by the tailwind of institutional adoption. When you evaluate any investment, ask yourself, will this business do well if inflation stays higher for longer? If the answer is no, you should be very cautious about owning it. Principle 3: make small, asymmetric bets on the future. Finally, and this is where it gets really interesting, you allocate a small portion of your portfolio to asymmetric bets. These are small investments that have the potential for explosive 10x, 50x, or even 100x returns. This is how you position yourself to not just survive, but truly thrive. The most fertile ground for these bets is in the emerging ecosystem of decentralized finance, DeFi, and Web3. This is the cutting edge of the new financial paradigm. We're talking about projects aiming to rebuild every part of traditional finance, lending, borrowing, asset management on open, decentralized rails. Now, this area is risky. It's the Wild West. Many projects will fail, but the ones that succeed could become the giants of the next generation. The key here is position sizing. You aren't betting the farm. You're taking a small percentage of your capital, say 1 to 5%, and spreading it across a basket of promising early stage projects. Look for projects with strong development teams, a clear use case, and growing user adoption. Ask yourself, does this project solve a real problem in a way that's fundamentally better than the old system? This part of your portfolio is your venture capital arm. It's where you take calculated risks on the future. Even if 9 out of 10 bets go to zero, the one that succeeds could generate returns that have a transformative impact on your overall wealth. By structuring your portfolio around scarcity, cash flow, and asymmetric bets, you're no longer playing by the old, broken rules. You're aligning yourself with the powerful macro forces shaping the next several decades. You're building a portfolio that's resilient to inflation and designed to capture the massive upside of this historic transition. We are living through a pivotal moment in financial history. The 40-year system of debt and central planning is at its breaking point. A new, decentralized system is rising to take its place. This convergence isn't some distant academic concept. It's happening right now, and it will impact every single one of us. For most, this will be a period of confusion, anxiety, and loss. They'll see their savings erode and their financial security slip away. They will be the victims of the biggest wealth transfer of our lifetime. But it doesn't have to be that way for you. By understanding the two great paradigm shifts at play, the end of the bond bull market and the rise of a decentralized financial system, you have the map. You can see the new world emerging from the ashes of the old. The solution isn't to hide in fear, but to act with conviction. It's about taking clear, deliberate steps to reposition your wealth. It's about shifting from chasing fleeting yields to embracing verifiable scarcity. It's about moving away from assets that are vulnerable to inflation and into businesses and technologies poised to thrive in this new era. The framework is simple. Build your foundation on scarce assets like Bitcoin and gold, generate reliable income with inflation-resistant businesses, and capture the explosive upside with small, asymmetric bets on the decentralized economy. The choice is yours. You can stay anchored to the past, hoping the old rules will somehow start working again, or you can embrace the future. You can be on the losing side of this wealth transfer, or you can be on the winning side. This isn't just about making money. It's about securing your freedom, your family's future, and your ability to thrive in a world that is being fundamentally reshaped. The greatest opportunities are never obvious. They appear when one paradigm is ending and another is beginning. That time is now. The biggest wealth shift of your lifetime has started. Be ready. Thank you for watching. If you found this valuable, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss my next video. I'll be diving even deeper into the specific companies and projects I believe are best positioned for this new era. And let me know in the comments below, what is the single biggest question you have about this wealth shift? I read all the comments and will do my best to answer them in future videos. And don't forget to check out that link for my free quantum wave investment workshop. Until next time, stay informed and stay prepared.